We have an updated version of the PCNC 440 ATC installation video since there was a wiring change with the VFD. There's no serial number break, so if you have an older machine, the procedure is the same. Please read the technical documentation that came with your product for all the warnings and cautions and any minor changes in future releases. When you receive your ATC, compare the contents to the item list in the included technical document. You will need several tools to complete the ATC installation. A 1-2-3 block set, a 1/2-inch straight dowel no longer than 8 inches, a 1/2-inch TTS tool holder, a 3mm and 4mm hex wrench, 2 adjustable wrenches, a socket wrench with a 13mm socket, a Phillips screwdriver, a small flathead screwdriver, a pair of snips, and finally a PCNC 440 power drawbar. The power drawbar must be installed on your machine before installing the PCNC 440 ATC. Check out the link in the description for the full details on how to install the power drawbar. Air requirements. The air supply must meet the required operating range between 90 and 120 psi. If the air supply exceeds 120 psi, you must use a regulator. You must lubricate the air with air tool oil. Use a filter regulator lubricator or something similar for this process. The power drawbar includes this in its kit. Partial disassembly of the mill enclosure. There are several items that need to be removed on the PCNC 440 before installation. From the Path Pilot main tab, reference the mill by clicking on the Ref Z, Ref X, and Ref Y buttons. Slowly jog the Z-axis down about 1.5 inches. Power off the mill by pushing the E-stop button. Click Exit on Path Pilot, then click OK to power off. Turn the Path Pilot control power strip off. Turn the main disconnect switch to off. Power off the air compressor and disconnect all air lines from the power drawbar button. Remove the Phillips head screws from the button box assembly and discard the assembly. Unscrew the push button cap and discard the power drawbar button assembly. Remove the Phillips head screws on the button box base. Reinstall the top socket head cap screw. If your mill is installed with a full enclosure, you must partially disassemble the enclosure before installing the ATC. Remove the 9 Phillips head screws securing the enclosure's left back panel to the machine column, the top panel, and to the left side panel. Set the screws aside and place the back panel in a safe spot. Remove the top window by loosening the 9 screws securing the 3 gibs to the enclosure's top panel. The window will slide out of place. Set the window aside. Use a 3mm hex wrench to remove the 10 socket head cap screws securing the electrical cabinet cover. Then remove the 8 4mm button head cap screws securing the Z-column to the back of the mill. Set both of these panels aside. Mount the automatic tool changer. 4 standoffs are used to mount the ATC to the Z-column. They need to be installed in a certain order for proper adjustment. 2 are adjustable, 1 is fixed, and the 4th is a tilt standoff. The main body of this one is slightly longer than the main bodies of the 2 adjustable standoffs. Arrange the 4 standoffs next to each other. Adjust the nuts until each adjustable standoff is equal in length to the fixed standoff. Place a washer between each standoff and the side of the mill. Install the tilt standoff in the top left screw hole and then secure it into place with a wrench. Secure an adjustable standoff to the right of the tilt standoff and to the second adjustable standoff just below. And finally, secure the fixed standoff in the bottom left location. Tighten each in place with an adjustable wrench. Remove the flange nuts and washers from each standoff and set them aside. From the rear of the motor enclosure, remove the 4 6mm screws securing the access plate. Cut the large cable ties securing the ATC wires, but leave the yellow and white wires tied together. Temporarily rest ATC on the tray. Pull the USB cable through the Z-column access slot, followed by the rest of the bundle. Pull the USB cable through the hole in the bottom of the casting. Route the V plus and V minus wires through the Z column toward the bottom of the power supply. Have an assistant rest the ATC on the standoff bolts as you pull the cables through the access slot. While the ATC is held in place, reinstall the washer and flange nut on each standoff, except on the top left tilt standoff. That takes 2 washers. For now, all the flange nuts can be left finger tight. At the power supply, lift the clear cover and use a Phillips screwdriver to connect the V plus wire to the V plus terminal. Then secure the V minus wire to the V minus terminal. Route the VFD1 and VFD8 wires through the access hole in the bottom of the Z column towards the electrical cabinet. In the electrical cabinet, remove the 2 wire trough covers. Then route the VFD1 and VFD8 wires through the wire troughs toward the variable frequency drive. Untwist this wire about 3 inches. On the VFD, use a small flathead screwdriver to make these spindle connections. Insert the VFD1 wire into the pin 1 connection. Insert the VFD8 wire to the pin 2 of the lower connector. Clean up the wires and replace the wire trough covers. Reinstall the electrical cabinet cover to the back of the mill. Route the USB cable through the access hole in the bottom of the Z column, then route it through the access hole in the back of the stand. On the controller, insert the USB cable into any open USB port. Reinstall the Z column cover to the back of the mill using the 8 button head cap screws you set aside earlier. Reinstall the motor enclosure's access plate using the 4 M4 screws that you set aside earlier. Make air connections. Slide the tool tray manually toward the spindle. On the bottom solenoid, use a flathead screwdriver to push in the screw and turn it clockwise. The screw locks in place and holds the ATC in the tray load position. Identify the 2 5/32 nylon air lines connect to the power drawbar cylinder. The bottom air line is for the retract, and the top is for the advance. Connect the bottom air line to the ATC's left top push to connect elbow, and then connect the top air line to the right push to connect elbow. Identify the 1/4 inch plastic tube connected to the air compressor. Connect the loose end to the air in valve below the motor enclosure. At this point, you can install the optional air pressure sensor, or the FRL. Follow the installation instructions that are included with each product. Now you can power on the air compressor. Level the automatic tool changer. Make sure the ATC's carousel door opening is approximately equal in distance on both sides of the spindle. If it isn't, use a wrench to loosen or tighten the nut on both adjustable standoffs, and bring the motor enclosure approximately 1/8 of an inch from the mill's spindle head. Use an adjustable wrench to turn a tilt standoff until all sides of the motor enclosure are approximately parallel with the mill's spindle head. Securely tighten the 4 flange nuts on each standoff. Tighten the wire plug against the mill Z column. Use a screwdriver to turn the bottom solenoid counterclockwise. The tool tray will retract. Validate the installation. Power on the mill by turning on the Path Pilot controller. After the software loads, turn the main disconnect switch to on. Turn the E-stop button clockwise to release. Press the start button. Click Reset on the screen. Go to the setting tabs on Path Pilot. Select the ATC button and the ATC tab will appear. Go to the main tab and reference the mill by clicking Ref Z, Ref X, and Ref Y. Press and hold the ATC button to open the collet. Insert a tool into the spindle, then release the button to close the spindle. Type 1000 into the RPM DRO. Click forward and the spindle will start spinning to 1000 RPM. In the Status tab, make sure the green VFD running light comes on. Click Stop to stop the spindle. If the VFD running light did not come on, remove the tool from the spindle, perform the power off procedure, and then repeat the electrical connection steps. Align the tool tray and tool slots. Before adding any tools to the spindle, the tool table needs to be aligned. Make sure there are no tools in the spindle. Click the Ref Tool Tray button and the tool tray will spin. Click on Go to Tool Tray Load Position and the tray will move forward. Adjusting the tool tray load position. If the spindle is not in the center of the ATC's carousel door opening, loosen the jam nut on the ATC linear rail. Slide the coupler to bring the ATC assembly closer or further away from the spindle head. Once the ATC's carousel door opening is positioned correctly with the spindle, retighten the jam nut. Adjusting the tilt of the ATC. Insert the tool holder with the 1/2-inch steel dowel into the fork and make sure the groove in the tool holder slides along the shoulder of the fork. Type 1 in the tool number DRO. Click Insert. The tool number entered appears on the diagram of the ATC's carousel. Place a 1-2-3 block on the machine table and slide it next to, but not touching the dowel. Make sure the dowel is parallel with the 1-2-3 block in both the Y direction and the X direction. If the dowel is not parallel with the straight edge, loosen the two 5mm socket head cap screws on the ATC's linear rail and slowly pivot the ATC assembly until the dowel is parallel with the 1-2-3 block. Once it is, retighten the socket head cap screws. Recheck the alignment of the dowel in both the Y and X direction. Use an adjustable wrench to turn the tilt standoff nut and slowly pivot the ATC assembly until the dowel is parallel with the 1-2-3 block. Adjusting the tool tray rotation. Slowly jog the Z-axis tool tray down to bring the spindle nose close to the tool. Determine the tray must move clockwise or counterclockwise. Click ---- to step the tool tray counterclockwise. Then click ++ to step the tool tray clockwise until the spindle and the tool slot center align with each other. Slowly jog the Z-axis down over the tool shank. Make sure the shank moves freely in the collet. If it does not, this indicates the ATC is misaligned and you must repeat the steps in the aligned tool tray and tool slot section. Setting the tool change height. Slowly jog the Z-axis down over the tool. Stop jogging when the spindle nose just makes contact with the shoulder of the tool holder. Click the Set TC Position button and then click OK. Adjusting the rotational play. There's a small amount of rotational play built in the ATC carousel. This allows for some misalignment during the tool changes and must be adjusted in both directions. The taper on the tool shank also helps align the tool during a tool change. In the ATC tab, click the Tray Forward button to rotate the tray clockwise 1 full tool slot. Then click Tray Reverse to rotate it back 1 full tool slot. Make sure the tool shank is in line with the collet and the spindle. If it doesn't line up, then go back to the aligned tool tray and tool slot section and repeat those procedures. Reassemble the enclosure. From the enclosure's back panel, remove the ATC cover. Slide the top window back into the gib slot and retighten the screws. Reinstall the enclosure's back panel to the machine's column and side panel. This concludes the installation of the PCNC 440 ATC. The technical document continues with operation and maintenance procedures, and it's suggested that you read this before operating your ATC.